Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, and this is my first Mezco Toys 112 Collect and Action Figure review. This is the Los Angeles Comic Con Mezco Direct exclusive, MDX, whatever you want to call it. This is the Iron Man Model 42. So really cool. This is actually not mine. This is my friend's. It belongs to a really good friend of mine. I'll put a link to her Instagram down in the description below, CessPoolCollective. So Cess, thank you so much for letting me open this figure up and review it for everybody, and really check it out. I'm pretty excited to see what the hype is about Mezco. Now, I already have 3 Mezco figures. I have the Spider-Man figure, the Miles Morales Spider-Man figure, and the PX exclusive Symbiote Spider-Man. I never did any reviews on them, but I do have them. They are in my collection. I do really enjoy them. I do really like them. I have the upcoming 2 Spider-Man Homecoming figures that are going to be coming out. Was able to order that homemade suit, Mezco exclusive, so very excited about that. Or Shanghai Comic Con exclusive, whatever it is. So hopefully those will come in soon. We shall see. But really cool. It's still sealed and everything. You have the Mezco exclusive sticker in there, so that's how you know the harder to get ones always have that sticker. It is a smaller packaging because the Mezco exclusives, for whatever reason, get the small box treatment. They don't get the special window box and all of that like the regular Mezco figures. But you can see here it's all black and gold to match the figure. The Invincible Iron Man, looking really cool. Here on the side you can see Iron Man. It says Armor Model 42. You have an Iron Man logo there. Here on the back of the package, you see some pretty cool artwork. So really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and then when we get back to the video, you'll see the figure out, and we'll check it out and take a look. Well, here's the Iron Man Armor Model 42 out of the package, and there's a whole lot of things kind of going on with this Mezco figure. So this video is probably not going to be so much a review, more of an unboxing, and I'll show you the accessories. I'm not going to switch everything out. I'm not going to put the batteries in it. Now, one of the things that definitely is a problem is that this batch, or every single one as far as we know, that there is a problem with the removable faceplate. It's kind of stuck on there, and I'm not going to force it because it's not my figure. Now, if you watch other reviews, you'll see that it's been a problem where they've had to force it. There could be some paint chips going on. Apparently, somebody reached out to Mezco about it, and all their customer service said was, "We don't recommend you removing the faceplate." Well, that was kind of one of the selling factors of it, the fact that it has a removable faceplate, so you can see Tony Stark's face, and then it's supposed to be magnetic to where it actually then stays up onto the helmet. But if you're not going to use that feature, that's kind of disappointing, and I can't believe Mezco would just say, "Oh yeah, we recommend you don't do that." That's a problem. I think that's going to be a big issue. But anyway, we'll kind of look at the figure. I'll go over some of the articulation, ththose things, and then I'll definitely look at the accessories and give you some close-up shots of it. But real quick, it's an awesome looking figure. It's beautifully done. The paint on it is absolutely amazing. The gold that's on there, it's got a little bit of glitter and shine and shimmer to it. It is a gorgeous looking figure. It is very heavy because there are some die-cast parts to it. It is just awesome. And then you can look at the size comparison with a Marvel Legends. So your typical Marvel Legends figure here. And then you can see the size difference with this Iron Man. Now, Mezco figures tend to run a little bit bigger anyway, but it's nice to see when you have like a Mezco, like an Iron Man figure, it's supposed to be a person inside of a metal suit. So the Iron Man figure should always be larger. That's not always been the case, especially with Legends. So if you're looking at the Mezco one, it definitely would be a good fit in with a Legends display. I think it'll fit in no problem because you can see a regular person inside of a suit. I think that's definitely going to work. So really cool there. So let's take a close look up at the figure, and I can really show you some of the different things that it has going on. As you can see close up, it is just an awesome, awesome looking figure. Look at the way that looks. Now, this is the same exact mold that both the classic Iron Man, the red and gold, as well as the Stealth Iron Man PX exclusive, the one that's going to be in all blue. It's the same exact mold, but it's all going to be different color paint. So I can imagine that the red and gold one is going to look outstanding as well, just because of the mold is good, the sculpt of it is nice, the paint is going to be applied great because of the die cast. The paint can be applied differently with die-cast, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what the process is or anything, but it always comes out much cleaner looking than you do with plastic. So really cool. So just look at the details and the mold of the figure. You have this belt piece that's kind of, it's like it's floating, a little bit different, but look at that gold shining right off of the legs, even that black, extra dark black paint there. Really nice. Came out looking really great, because you almost have a matte black and then you have a shine, a glossy black. I think it looks great. Even the little details like that on the hand. You see where the mini arc reactors on the hand, you can see that it's partially showing, so they painted it red on both hands, so it's really nice little detail there. Back of the figure, not a whole lot, but there is some paint, mainly just the matte black, but there's some there, and you can see the battery compartments actually in the back here. You just pop that open. You actually have to put the batteries in. It does not come with the batteries inside because they don't want it to corrode or anything like that. So really nice looking figure. We'll take a look at some of the articulation. The head, the faceplate's supposed to come off, but again, I'm not going to force it. It doesn't want to come off. So he can look up that much. So if you get him into a flight pose, I think it could work out pretty well. He can look all the way down. He gets a really good motion in there. You actually get some pivot, which is really nice, because even on the Legends, you don't get that kind of range on the head. So that looks really good. He can look all the way around if you wanted to. Not sure if he pops off. I'm not real familiar with Mezco figures to try and do that, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave that there. Let you guys do that on your own if you guys have the figure. Shoulders go all full rotation. You have an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow, which gives you just about 90 degrees on there because of the way the sculpt is and everything. It's not going to get much more range of motion there. The wrists are on a ball peg, so you get all kinds of motion in there. You get a roll of the dice motion, and then if you turn the hand, you can do it up and down and move it all around, and there's a full swivel there. And that goes for both of the wrists. Here on the diaphragm, you get a diaphragm joint similar to like female figures of Marvel Legends, so there's good range of motion in there. So he can go down about that much. Goes back actually quite a bit, so if you get him into like a flight pose, you could really make that work. So that works out really well. And then this mid torso piece also has some pivot in there as well, so it moves forward only slightly, really not a whole lot. Doesn't really go back, but you get that side to side pivot, which is really nice in there. So I really like that a lot. Now as far as the legs, so you have to pull the leg down. Comes down ever so slightly, and so you can get them to kick up. If you don't do that, the only range of motion you're going to get is that. So you have to pull the leg out, and then you can get it to move up. So it's the way these hip joints work in there. You have to pull it down, and then you can see just a little bit slightly there. So that's pretty good. You get a double jointed knee, which gives you enough range of motion. If a guy in a metal suit shouldn't be bending it all the way, so that works out quite well. There is a little bit of a boot swivel in there, actually full swivel rotation there. The ankle hinges up ever so slightly, hinges down ever so slightly, but there is ankle pivot there, so that's done nicely. And again, it's a man in an Iron Man and a metal suit. How much motion can he really get in there, right? Not a whole lot. So there's the Iron Man figure and his articulation. Let's take a look at the accessories. Okay, and looking at the accessories for the Iron Man figure, first what you want to do is he comes with instructions on how to properly use some of the accessories. So the worst part about it is here, hey, look, take a look. Faceplate comes off, and then you can place it on top of the helmet because it has an adjustable magnetic faceplate. Well, according to Mezco, they don't recommend you doing that. Well, that's kind of crap, because that's how it's supposed to be. It's a great feature. It's an awesome thing that they would do. but apparently you can't use it. Here you have the instructions on how to put in the batteries. Yes, it does come with these 2 batteries there, so you do need a tiny screwdriver to be able to put those batteries in. Some of the attachable accessories, so you have this arc reactor blast effect that actually goes into where the arc reactor is. So this red arc reactor, you could actually pop that off and put on the blast effect. So you can see that it's just going to connect right on there. It's done in a translucent clear plastic with some red paint on it, which is pretty good. A little bit of rubbery material to it. This is kind of a stiff, harder plastic, so that works out quite well. You can see he has additional blast effects. There's even more than this, but this is just the first layer of accessories. So these are the arc reactor blast effects that will go on his hands. And you can see the same clear translucent plastic with red in it, so it looks pretty good. And they have pegs on the ends, because like with the additional hands that he comes with, and these are pretty rubbery, so I mean, I don't think you'd be too worried about breaking, but you definitely want to be careful about how they bend, because there's a lot of movement in there. You can see on the little red hole there for the arc reactor, you could just peg it in, and you could see it's going to look pretty good when you actually get it onto the figure. And just to show you real quick, I'll do that with one. You do want to be careful with these Mezco pegs, because they are tiny. Look how small that is. So be very, very careful. And you can see the blast effect there, and that's pretty awesome. You know, some of you photography guys will be able to get some really great shots with Iron Man doing that. So he comes with the 2 hands that he comes with out of the package are both fists, and so he has additional open hands. Kind of, they're not grabbing anything, but they're just open hands there. And then he has the extra hands that are just straight up, which will give you, so you could do those arc reactor blast effects. And then of course you get your 112 collective accessory bag. Let's take a look at the other tray. Okay, next up for accessories, we have the Mezco 112 Collective stand. Now, all the Mezco 112 figures come with a special stand. And you can see the awesome looking arc reactor design for this one there. As far as the additional accessories, we have these blast effects. Now, these are actually going to go onto his belt. So when you get him into some flight poses, it's going to be kind of the blast effect as he's flying. So these just kind of pop off pretty easily. You just kind of get a fingernail in there, and they just come off, and you could just see that they peg right on there, and you could just port it, no problem there. I'm not going to pull them out and show you, but you guys can get the idea. They just slip right on there. As far as additional accessories, we have the batteries, and then you have these flame blast effects. So those are very similar. You could put those in a couple different places. You put them on the hands to kind of give it a fire blast effect, similar to the other ones, just not as large. And then you can also put them on his feet as part of the flying poses right there. So you can see you can put them on the hand or put them on the feet. Then this one right here, you get little fire blast effects. So they actually have some orange and yellow blasts in there, as well as a little silver tip that kind of represents like a bullet or some kind of rocket or small tiny missile. Those actually port right on into his gauntlet piece there. You can see there's actually a hole, so you could port it right on in there. So as you're going through, you can kind of, you know, have your Iron Man doing a little blast effect, and then it has that missile shooting right out from his arm. So that is really cool. So those are all the accessories. I think it's pretty loaded. You know, Mezco's, they do the accessories very well. The exclusives tend to have more accessories, so I'm not sure. I don't remember what the classic regular release is going to have, what the PX exclusive is going to have. I know a lot of the accessories are the same. I'm not sure if some of these had additional accessories, but really awesome looking figure. Let's get one more shot of the figure by itself. Okay, here's the last shot of it. Again, awesome looking figure. I know he's kind of up there in value because with the Mezco exclusives, they tend to have a smaller quantity. They tend to be limited. I think the rumor is that he was around 600 to 1500. I have no idea how the numbers work. You know, you go into the Mezco 112 Facebook group and they have all that information. I don't really stay up on it because, again, I'm not the biggest of Mezco collectors. But it is a really cool figure. If you're able to get it at a decent price, I think go for it. If Iron Man is your favorite comic book character, it's a must-have. If you were able to get it at LA Comic Con, have it in hand already, or if you've received your order from Mezco, if you guys don't have a problem with the faceplate, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to be able to answer them for you guys. Sorry I couldn't do a better review, switching out the accessories, putting the batteries on, watching the arc reactor light up, getting that faceplate off. If it was my figure, I would absolutely try and do what I can and pop that thing off. Unfortunately, I cannot. But let me know if you guys have been able to, if you haven't been able to, kind of what you might have seen on Facebook or from some other posts or anything like that. Let me know down below. Check out CessPoolCollective on Instagram down in the video description below. Questions, comments, concerns, hit me up in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up if you guys liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, I'd like to thank you for watching.